Sportsman Series continuing on here. We're at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Steve Boatsteel, Shane Doherty up in the booth here as the guys from UpperEdge Racing get ready to go at it. Head-to-head here at one of the most iconic tracks here on the NASCAR circuit. It's basically the center of racing here in America, so things are going to be a pretty exciting race here tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Anytime you come to Charlotte, always important, and especially for an all-star night, these guys get ready to battle on not only Charlotte Motor Speedway, but also iRacing's new build. The new surface model has come. Lots of great things we're going to see here tonight. Excited for all these guys at this all-star event and see what they can do. Here live here before we get ready to get this night started here with Ryan Dyson. And Ryan, obviously the second all-star event you have hosted here, especially the second with CFI. Lots of things to expect here tonight. Also iRacing's new build. First off, what are your thoughts?
Well, first off, it's good to actually be in the all-star race. Last season I was up in the booth with you guys, which was fun, but no offense, I would rather be in the car, and I'm just glad we made it in and didn't have to go through the sprint that just happened and stuff, and locked it in on a win and a pole this season, so glad to be here. It's going to be a good night. Interested to see if the high side comes in at all. I'm assuming not. We'll see what happens, but from what we can tell, it's just as single groove as ever, so it should be interesting to see unique format and stuff, and we'll see if we can get this 28 London Recreational Racing Chevrolet to the front at some point.
Definitely not being a points event here tonight kind of changes up the strategy and everything you do. How are you going to approach this race, and what do you think are some of the biggest things you're going to work on throughout the night?
With the fuel limited, we're going to have to make a pit stop in the first segment at some point. So if it goes green, it's going to give you a green flag pit stop, which is kind of my hopes. If a caution comes out, you're going to have to strategize and see if you can't get it, because I think roughly we have about 25 laps of fuel unless you stretch it. And the first segment's 40, so we're just going to see how things fall for that one. Hopefully get a win in the first two segments so that we can enter pit road first for the final segment.
Alright, and there's any sponsors or shout-outs you want to thank for putting on tonight's event?
Yeah, as usual, got to thank you guys for doing an awesome broadcast. You guys helped us out with this one. Obviously, the All-Star Showdown is presented by CFI, so thank you guys for that. Got to thank London Recreational Racing for all they do and jumping on board as a primary sponsor of the Sportsman Series next season. Our Expression Studios, Driven Steering Wheel, Spencer Lewis Promotions, Castrol, and all the partners, and the team, of course, RCA Racing.
Alright, that's Ryan Dyson. Ryan, thank you, and good luck tonight.
Thanks, guys. Hopefully we'll talk later.
Yeah, one of the things I didn't even think about when we do present this race to you guys here. Been so long since we set that in stone that see if we can sponsor tonight's race, and we're hoping it's going to be a good one, and couldn't have picked a better one with the new build coming out. Points made races out of the books here, so these guys are going to be going at it neck and neck, and it's all about the win tonight.
Yeah, definitely is. No points. That means any risk you take really doesn't matter. If it's for the win, great. If it's not, well, it doesn't matter. So definitely these guys out here see what they can do, and they will make moves tonight that we do not see in the regular season, so that's going to make it just that much more intense as we watch the rest of the field here in practice. Still quite a lot of time left, about 7 minutes or so. They'll qualify and they'll get the race underway here live from CFI.
We'll take a hot second here prior to getting started on a break. When we come back, we'll take you to the start of the race.
Tom comes over the spectrum with a job. All it says is an amount of cargo, a delicate timetable, and a risky route. You know you've got 42 cubic meters to pack full of profit. We're talking pressurized and shock-resistant construction, so whatever you put in here comes out the same way. You got two Arc Duo 400 engines. Their award-winning colloid ion technology gives you maximum fuel efficiency while keeping your sig low. Across a couple of pirates.
Hey, Lancer, you know the drill.
But with a weapons system featuring trusted names like Bering and Kronik, you aren't too worried.
Commercial vessel, Freelancer class. Brake tags look good. Cleared for landing at Area 18.
You're the one they come to when they need a job done right. Because you trust one ship. Misk Freelancer. Built for life. Tom comes over the spectrum with a job. All it says is an amount of cargo, a delicate timetable, and a risky route. You know you've got 42 cubic meters to pack full of profit. We're talking pressurized and shock-resistant construction, so whatever you put in here comes out the same way. You got two Arc Duo 400 engines. Their award-winning colloid ion technology gives you maximum fuel efficiency while keeping your sig low. Across a couple of pirates.
Hey, Lancer, you know the drill.
But with a weapons system featuring trusted names like Bering and Kronik, you aren't too worried.
Commercial vessel, freelancer, class.
As the qualifying wraps up here, got the results we've been watching the screen. Tom Bourne looks to be leading him down here, followed by J.D. Laird, Chris Wright, Big Time Ryan Dyson, Corey Hoover, Doy Woods, Michael McLean, Andrew Fayosh way back there in 8th, only less than a 10th behind. Then Mark Murphy, Justin Munsell. And to round out the field, well, we're getting down to the grid, Shane, so that's that. And as you can see, that new updated pace car, got a little shot of that right there. The American Childhood Cancer Organization paint scheme coming aboard here for the next, I do believe, 12 weeks minimum. And then we'll have to see what iRacing does after that 12 weeks. It's on there for season 4 of 2015.
Yeah, definitely cool deal they're doing there for season 4. Always like to see iRacing get involved in different things, especially the American Child Cancer Organization. Cool to see that on the pace car, debuting in the dark here tonight, Charlotte at night. So cool to see as these guys grid up now, and we're just moments away from getting this race started.
Yeah, it looks so crazy different with a different colored pace car out there. We've had that same one for so long now, and having a new colored paint job on that car, oh boy, Shane, it makes a huge difference.
Important to note that this race will be broken up into segments. It's 3 segments, so the first one is going to be relatively long and the last 2 short, but these guys are running limited fuel cells tonight, which means they only are going to get a third of what they usually get, which means the first segment you will see pit stops, either green flag or under caution if we see that, but these guys definitely going to be pitting a lot more often tonight than they normally would.
Yep, in the plan for 40 laps, then 15, then another 15. The winners of the first 2 segments enter pits first for the mandatory pit stop after the second segment. Drivers have to stop in their box, but the interesting thing is they're not necessarily required to get any service in their box as long as they come to a stop inside their box. And they have just over 35% of their fuel load. So Shane, it's just going to be incredibly interesting out here to see how things play out. It's gonna be a good race, that's for sure.
It definitely will. We'll be learning a lot. Definitely from when the green flag drops to the end, we will have learned a lot about the iRacing build, the new surface model, how these guys react to this different strategy and pit stops, pitting more often, and I guess more importantly, who's going to bring home the pride of winning the All-Star event here tonight. So it's going to be very interesting as the field's rolling now, and we are just about half a lap away or so from going green.
There goes the pace car. We wait for the green flag, and the All-Star Showdown is underway. The first 40 laps on the board.
happening here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway as Tom Boren gets out to a pretty good lead there. J.D. Laird close on him in second, but look how close that field is. Full throttle from the start. So 2x2 about 6 rows deep down the back.
We'll have to see. From what we've heard, it's been the first few laps are almost flat around this place here. And it looks pretty much like that as the field comes off. Looks like Daytona out here, Shane. Bumper to bumper, coming across the line.
Yeah, this is definitely something new. These guys are way close to each other. It seems like the race just started, but it's lap 2 and these guys all on top of each other. Have to see if they spread out even more, but Tom Boren's trying to get away, but so many cars so close to him.
And Tom Boren is not going to be able to break away much at all, even with the draft and the way that things work. Chris Wright's right on his rear end here. Scheme that looks quite like that. J.D. Laird struggling right now. He's now stuck up on the side of the field.
Starting to see some guys try that high side, and they really have nothing to lose at this point. Lots to gain, lots to learn. Maybe lose some spots here, but could learn a thing or two here for the end of the race. So these guys taking this early start of this race to experiment, trying to see if there's anything going.
Yep, like we talked about, the wrong things is going to be a lot of pitting. That's what will bring it down to the road. If not, because trying to show and get the maximum amount of tire out of their car. There's no right big momentum. Fells on the inside of McLean. McLean trying to hang strong on the high side. As well as our leaders are right on top of each other. Tom to hold off the number 20 of Chris Wright, but Chris is right there.
Yeah, he definitely is, and it seems like some of these guys starting to separate the groups. You got the top 3 and then a couple of guys behind them, and then the rest of the field kind of seems lumped together from there as almost a spin in the back half of the field. I think they gather it up.
Up into this picture here, Shane, as he looks down on the inside, the number's not open, so he's not going to be able to take it. So that number 20 right is going to sit right there. Well, and then that second group of drivers, Hartenfels and McLean, starting to break away. Dyson battling.
Yeah, Ryan Dyson kind of faded back a little bit, started working back in 7th, but definitely doing a nice job there. He's battling with J.D. Laird, and these guys trying to catch the pack in front of them. If they can get to them, maybe use that draft to eventually get to the leaders, which are side by side for second.
Yeah, looking at that right there, JD is can't get around the Dyson. Looking at the 2 and then Hartenfels stuck on the outside, trying to use a little bit of momentum here. Big time guy. He's been nice doing a job there to get that as Hoover finally gets underneath of that Chris
He's been trying outside groups, got momentum off the corner, and see a little bit of crossover move there by Chris Wright. He's going to look to the inside of Corey Hoover, and they're going to be side by side to turn 1, pretty much neck and neck. And a wreck in the back almost as they gather it back up, but nice job by all those guys saving the car. That was Austin Hartenfels that almost went around.
Everyone made it out relatively okay here, and there's, oh man, they're right on top of each other, so we'll have to see if that lasts.
Yeah, that's 6 cars all within half a second of each other after 11 laps, or actually 10 laps at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, a mile and a half. That's definitely something you don't see very often, as Michael McLean goes wide there. But these guys definitely putting in the effort and pretty much staying right on top of each other regardless of how many laps they're out there for.
Stuck up on the high side here. We'll see what he can do. That launches on the distance again, gets himself way up on down the inside. Michael Herrera is getting into the mix as well. He's trying to move up through the field, and oh boy, it's Mayoff finally started making a bit of motion. Now, Andrew Mayoff has not been racing full time this season. Well, due to multiple wins and money this season, oh, as McLean's hard into the outside wall. That's going to pretty much end his chances now.
Yeah, he got hit in the left side, then he hit the right side wall. So both the right side and the left side heavily damaged on that 51 car. Definitely not what Michael wanted to see. Good news is that we'll get the caution here sooner or later, but nonetheless damage.
Stops have already started. Corey Hoover's going to be the first driver to come down pit road, attempting to shorten that mid-season here. Now, you've got to take a full tank of fuel, which is going to take you a little bit, and it's going to take you at least two tires down there on pit lane. So we'll have to see how that works out, as Corey Hoover looks like he might be 4 down on pit road.
Yeah, he is going to go ahead and take 4 tires. It's interesting to note that car actually got into the wall. It had right side damage, so I don't think that affected his decision to pit, but definitely short pitting, as you said, Steve, and could definitely be some strategy trying to pull early on.
So he's moved up a spot. James Laird is able to get out of that mix of drivers. So and it looks like a couple of other drivers are there throwing it down as well, making that pit stop.
Later, Chris Wright continues to lead, and also hearing Austin Hartenfels is going to bring his machine down pit road this time. So green flag pit stops in full swing here, and guys deciding pitting now is kind of sharp pitting a little bit, try and gain some strategy, and as you said before, Steve, get the most out of those tires on the second run, so therefore they can maybe have that track position for later on. Could be interesting to see how that works out, because if a caution comes out, that definitely would change everything.
Yeah, but it's already known that the likelihood of caution definitely depends on how close all the drivers are. Oh boy, we almost had contact there between Laird and Chris Wright. Chris Wright was a little more conservative on his entry than Laird, and Laird just drove it in there. Almost rear-ended him, Shane, as that could have been ugly.
Yeah, all of a sudden, this time by on the 20th lap, 6-7 cars come down pit road. I don't know if that's planned or those guys simply said on lap 20, I'm pitting. But now they pretty much half the field on pit road getting service.
And issues for Chris Ward, excuse me. I'm not even sure what happened to that number 18. Possibly ran out of fuel. what it sounds
Yeah.
like.
Sounds like it. He is coasting down pit road, and the speed is going down. So definitely that car out of fuel. Chanced it. Unfortunately, gonna possibly make it around to his pits, but he's gonna lose a lot of time to do it.
And that is an interesting aspect right there. As drivers talked about prior to the race that they thought they could go on 25 lap shade, and with Corey Hoover coming down on lap 15, if that last little bit right there, what we just saw is to judge, he will not have enough gas. It's like to the
Yeah, definitely. That's very interesting, and you know, I guess he kind of threw that out the window when he made that call. I think fuel wasn't the issue. I think it was tires. Maybe pulling that fender was more important at this time in the race. But you know, we'll have to see how that works out. As Doy Woods and Ryan Dyson are ended up as your first two drivers in the lead, and Doy Woods was actually around fourth before then, and he's all the way up to the lead after that. So both those drivers and their crews doing a nice job on pit road.
top 5 as they run. We've got Doy Woods, Dyson here, and then Lararia there, and that's your top 5s. We're just past halfway in this first segment of the All-Star Racing for the UpperEdge Racing CMC Sportsman Series. This is going to be a good one, and we've seen a little bit of interesting action so far, and I'm trying to see where it's going to go from here.
And the field continues to be pretty spread out. Ryan Dyson, Doy Woods, I think that's the closest battle pretty much in the field. Well, back to around 6th or 7th, we have currently Austin Hartenfels and Andrew Fayas the third side by side. But besides that, everyone else pretty spaced out, trying to get a feel for their car here on the second run.
Now, it's important to note that Doy Woods and Ryan Dyson only took down 2 tires there, and that should be enough time to get the 35 to 36% motor in the car. So that isn't the issue I'm worried about. It'll just be interesting to see how all of these drivers that do have a shortage. Corey Hoover's actually driving at the second time now, but he realized he was short up there.
Yeah, definitely, and I don't know if that was a miscommunication in the strategy or Corey tried to play the cards and it didn't work. So we'll have to see how that goes. He is 1 lap down, so he's going to have to maybe get a caution here to get that. I don't know if they do lucky dogs on certain segments. That we'll kind of find out as we go. But you know, Corey already kind of in a hole early on, and going to have to see if he can maybe climb out of that and salvage a good finish.
Issues for Tom Board in that Lego machine. A little bit. Oh, quite shame. Things are getting interesting here at Charlotte Motor Speedway for the UpperEdge Star Race Showdown. This is good. Up the side by side. This is stuff you don't ever really even get to see anymore.
Yeah, definitely, and that's the whole point here. The new surface model they introduced this week is to bring back the multi-group racing that we've seen before in other simulators in past. iRacing really has been known for it. Now with this introduction, the goal is to have that come back and be able to race multi-groups and maybe use that high side at tracks that wasn't possible at any time and point before. And here tonight we're kind of learning that the middle groove is pretty nice there compared to the inside groove if you're battling side by side, as Doy Woods is holding off Ryan Dyson using that middle and high grooves and doing a nice job there as he gaps him a couple car lengths.
And you know, that's really a great way to be able to do it here. And since iRacing, I mean, assuming the new build's working properly out there, I haven't gotten to do it, I'm driving myself, assuming it's working right out there, that middle line will start to rubber in by the the time it rubbers in, you can maintain some speed there in that middle bit and keep that inside line slowed down, and you also keep that outside line occupied. So, you know, if everything's going as it should out there, that number 91's got a nice little strategy worked out, even with older left side tires. These machines of Roy Woods, Ryan Geisler, that is left in this first segment, they're running pretty quick tires out there still.
Yeah, definitely, and Toy Woods all of a sudden turned on the jet, pulled the heck away from Ryan Dyson. It was 2 car lengths, and now it's almost an entire second back to the 28 car, so either Ryan kind of made a mistake or something, or that car is kind of falling off the cliff out of the last couple of laps, and Doy's really putting some big-time gains on him, and he's off to the biggest lead out of anyone tonight.
Yeah, we weren't entirely sure that stretching out at all here tonight. Michael O'Raria is really inside the top 5, looking to take away the recently, and he's got 4 freshman points, I believe, so he'll be good to battle up here. Yep, he's got 4 freshman points. That 44 is the first car with 4 fresh tires, and oh, Dyson's over it!
And all of a sudden, a huge loss of grip there for Ryan, but he does a nice job to save it. The car kind of just went around on him, and he did a nice job to gather it back up, and we stay green nonetheless. Excellent save.
Oh, and he pushed up the track again there, and more issues with Tom Warnes. His engine's now expired. Possibly tire going down on that number 28. Got the eyes on this one here as he goes into number 2. Oh man, Shane, that is toast out there. He is struggling.
Yeah, Ryan continues to struggle, but also important to note that we had a car come down pit road. It was Michael Laria. That car back on pit road. He's one of the first leaders to make a stop for the second time with the exclusion of Corey Hoover. So, interesting strategy, and it looks like 4 tires and fuel for Michael.
Well, idea. I'm not really sure how it's going to come out. Get the tire in the service now. Stop it. Coming down the final couple of laps here.
So the 91 at Woods goes around to the back straightaway. Wow.
Oh, let's bring on caution here, and that will effectively end the segment. Roy Woods doesn't collect any damage from what I can see. Either way, the caution is out for the first time.
He did an excellent job, though. He was headed for the inside wall. Did a nice job of keeping it off that, keeping it out of the racing surface too. Plenty of cars went speeding by him in the outside groove. He does a nice job to gather it back up, and somehow after that spin is going to stay on the lead lap and receive no damage.
Well, if you're going to spin, that's the best darn way to do it right there, Shane. So that will end the first segment. We'll take a quick commercial break and everything set for the second segment, then we will be back.
A comm comes over the spectrum with a job. says is an amount of cargo, a delicate timetable, and a risky route. You know you've got 42 cubic meters to pack full of profit. We're talking pressurized and shock-resistant construction, so whatever you put in here comes out the same way. You got two Arc Duo 400 engines. Their award-winning colloid ion technology gives you maximum fuel efficiency while keeping your sig low. You come across a couple of pirates.
Hey, Lancer, you know the drill.
But with a weapons system featuring trusted names like Bering and Kronik, you aren't too worried.
Commercial vessel, Freelancer class. Rig tags look good. Cleared for landing at Area 18.
You're the one they come to when they need a job done right. Because you trust one ship. Misk Freelancer. Built for life.
Back up here, Andrew Fayage is on the road. First right up on the outside. Ryan goes. And then JD Laird to make up round number 2. Get ready to go back to green flag.
Looks like they put the lights back on the pace car, so we'll go another lap around caution, possibly trying to sort out the running order here. So as they do that, it's going to be interesting to see how the second half of the race goes, because we're already past halfway in this race. It's hard to believe how short it is, but this is where the drama comes down to it, because we have 2 more segments left, very shorter in length, and these guys are going to have to adjust basically how they run this race from a typical long run race to treating it as the end of the race and treating it basically as the time to go at this point.
Now, I'm not entirely sure why some drivers chose to not come down pit road. I feel as if there might have been some type of discrepancy between the communications there. Andrew Fayage, a couple of other drivers, Chris Wright, did not come down pit road, and now they have, and they will be at the tail end of the field. So I'm not entirely sure if there was a miscommunication or something, but Ryan Dyson will be leading down the green flag for segments of 15 laps.
As those cars come off the road for their service, going to have to investigate that, because I don't really understand what those 3 drivers definitely didn't do anything wrong. It might have just been a decision of theirs, or maybe they're going to be given their spots back. We're all kind of learning on the spot here as the officials work the magic and get these guys where they need to be here for this restart. So it'll be interesting to see where they do line up, but wherever they line up, definitely going to be interesting to see any of those guys, if they are back there, come to the field and try and make something happen here with limited time left. Dyson will be your leader on this restart. That will be final with JD Laird to his outside as Fayage the third as he documented Steve on and off pit road. Looks like it was gas and go on the 77 car. Might have not gotten all the way that or topping off. So it's going to be interesting to see how Bayash can make his way through the field if it's possible. He's one of the last cars on the lead lap in 9th. It was officially 14 cars that started tonight's event, but so far he is the last car on the lead lap as I documented, and Michael Laria is one of the last cars left in the race in 10th. He is 1 lap down, so he's going to be one of those guys looking for a quick caution here to get back in the race.
Session, these drivers are going to be going at it neck and neck. You gotta suspect there might be more cautions here. Pace car is down, green flag in the air. We are back to racing. Shane Terry for the first time of the night, right up there in the mix. Here we go. Oh, freak line on mid up front there for a hot second. Shane Terry getting loose down low.
Does a nice job to gather it up, though it almost slid up a little bit there as Ryan Dyson tries to get away, and we're almost 3 wide down the back straightaway. Austin Harden comes.
Waiting there again, up on the high side here, all the way up by the wall. Corey Hoover in the sucker hole. He's getting a little bit loosey-goosey there as Roy Woods tries to get back on behind the inside. Almost going to make some contact, getting in 1 and 2 there. Side by side, racing incredible there. Corey Hoover will somehow be able to clear him on the inside. He'll pull down here. Clever McClellan making a big by J.D. Lord just can't have a break. Finally, he's able to get around here and pull him back down the inside lines. That was great.
That is the answer we have been searching for a long time. How a car can go between 2 cars and make a clean pass. That's what Corey Hoover did. He used the middle groove of all places, and he went through the middle of those 2 cars and completed the pass. Definitely shows progress. That's a very promising sign here. Pretty awesome to see him make that move and move up. Biggest movers in the race, Shane Terry and Austin Hartenfels have made their way up to 2nd and 3rd respectively, and they are knocking on the back door of Ryan Dyson for the lead. This is Shane's highest place so far in the race. Austin's been up into the top 3 before, but he almost went around at one point in this race and has made his way back up to the front. Looks to the inside of Shane Terry, and there's their side by side now into turn 3.
Actually going to use the run on the outside there, and he's actually going to get up to the outside of Dyson using that high side here. Oh, this is incredible shape. Finally see a little bit of side-by-side real race and be able to work here. Terry trying to pull up on that outside here as he's going to get that momentum. I think he might be able to do it. He's going to have the nice head of steam. Oh my gosh, look at that. We just saw a pass on the high side.
Now pass for the lead of all things on the high side, and he pulls away by a car length. Amazing job, and goes back to the bottom there. The high side's working better. Maybe tell him to get back up there, but he does a nice job and takes the lead again. Guys battling pretty well back there, doing what they can. They know a caution will fly, and they will get another chance here at it, so maybe trying some things, trying to experiment for one last time here tonight, and then apply all that knowledge they've learned here into this final segment. And by the way, he's getting ready to happen here soon as these guys wrap up this very short 15-lap segment.
And that'll take us all the way to the finishing, so, oh man, he's gonna be Hartenfels tries to get around his RCX and Dinosaurs. No, he can do it here. All over his rear bumper, giving him a hard time there off the corner. Almost making contact as McLean's back into the wall in that second half.
Yeah, that time a really hard hit for the 51 of Michael McLean, and that's going to pretty much end his hopes of finishing well unless they get a caution. Possibly, obviously, they're going to have another segment, but looks like that car's going to need several trips to pit road, so we'll see if they can maybe help him out there, but nonetheless, everyone else still going strong, and it's also starting to see a side-by-side battle develop for fifth here as Chris Wright looks to the inside corner.
Woods is in the mix there as Corey Hoover got really loose. He's going to drop a couple of spots. And that will be hard for him as well in this segment. Hartenfels is clear on through on Dyson. Dyson all the way up to the wall here. Here comes Jake in the mix. Stick side by side in that second position.
Doing a nice job in that high side, continuing to be the place to be to pass cars as Brian Dyson makes his way around. Here comes J.D. Laird around Austin Hartenfels, and Austin got passed by 2 cars in 1 lap on the outside, something you don't see every day, and he'll slide back into 4th. And all these guys about 2/3 of a second behind your leader, Shane Terry.
All of this bad behind Terry. Allowed for him to pull away. He's not almost the second of the league, which is big. It's actually at the end of the segment here, just a couple of laps. Possibly 1 more lap before that end of the segment. Dyson is trying to retain that second position from J.D. Laird. One side of the line, front line. He's trying to work his way further atop the standings. He's just giving it his all on this point.
And they know that the end of the segment is coming, so they're trying to get those spots that they can to help themselves out here for the final segment. And definitely you are rewarded based on how they set their grid for the final segment, for finishing up front and doing what you can to stay as close to the front as you possibly can. So J.D. Laird make yet another pass there for second. He's going to take that second spot away.
Oh, our leader catches the outside wall in the final lap of this segment. Things are getting tight up there. Dyson turns up the track, almost makes contact with Laird. Coming across the line, though, it will be Shane Terry. Caution's out.
Caution comes out there. That pretty much ends the second segment. Wraps it all up, but reporting the 33 of Corey Hoover. Loses a lap there, the car out of fuel. So possibly didn't get it full all the way last time on pit road, and he's slowly coasting it down, and probably will have to wait a couple of minutes here till that car eventually does get to the pit box.
Trying to get a ring in here with Andrew Fayash, driver of the number 77 here as he brings it down pit road. Andrew, how you doing?
Pretty good. How you guys doing up here?
Oh, we're good. It's been a while since we've gotten to talk to you over here in the UpperEdge CMC Sportsman series. You're running pretty okay when it comes to your times, but take us through what happened to get you behind the pack from that last time.
Well, I won the first segment. and everybody pit under that caution, and I obviously had to stay out in order to win the segment, and then there was nobody left to pit during the break. So I lost all my track position by winning the first segment, so that kind of sucked.
Yeah, but at least you can say you are the winner of the first segment. That's always, you know, good. I can't say I'm ever the winner, so.
Yeah, I don't want to jinx it by bringing it up, but I have never had good luck in an all-star race of any way, shape, or form. Real life sim racing, it doesn't matter. Any sort of all-star style event, I've never had good luck in. I usually end up torn up in the first segment or two. So I can say it's been better than the previous ones at least. So we'll just see what we can do here in the last 15.
Alright, Mr. Fayosh, well, best of luck out there. Looks like the field's going to bring it down now. Not really sure why, possibly trying to conserve fuel. Drivers were talking earlier, they thought they could make it 25 laps. It does not seem to be the case.
Go, man.
No,
20 laps
it's
to go.
20 if you're lucky. And the reason they pit separate, they had the segment winners pit on their own lap, and then the rest of the field pit. That way it was easier to split it up.
Everything's becoming clear. Alright, Andrew, best of luck out there.
Thank you, Steve.
Shane, back with you.
Yeah, interesting how they do that. They basically give advantage to the segment winners when they break up who can come down pit road and who doesn't, and eventually we'll see the correct running order up front and be able to get this final segment underway. Probably the most interesting part of the race, segment 3, and always is, knowing that everything is out of the way at this point and pretty much out there to run as much as you've got and do the best you can to finish. Where you finish in that segment is obviously the end of the race, and whoever wins that wins the all-star race. Definitely these guys are working hard all night to get to where they are now, and it's about taking advantage and taking those risks we talked about earlier that you wouldn't take in the regular season, and try and see if you can maybe pull one out tonight.
Yeah, it's a beautiful day here in Charlotte, North Carolina. 75 degrees, so perfect racing weather. These guys are definitely enjoying the max of it out on this track. What looks like pushing too hard, it might.
Looks like they're going to delay the green a couple laps here in order to set up the correct amount of laps remaining to 15 and allow these guys to race it to the end and have the results at the end of the race actually reflect the results, as I should say there. And so we'll run a couple more laps here and we'll get the rest of this race underway.
Macomb comes over the spectrum with a job. All it says is an amount of cargo, a delicate timetable, and a risky route. You know you've got 42 cubic meters to pack full of profit. We're talking pressurized and shock-resistant construction, so whatever you put in here comes out the same way. You got two Arc Duo 400 engines. Their award-winning colloid ion technology gives you maximum fuel efficiency while keeping your sig low.
Going green now, 6 or 7. Oh boy, 17 laps left. 16 across the line to get the green here. Shane coming down the wire. There's big names up in front. There's comers, there's goers, there's drivers we saw lead that it just simply aren't there anymore. 15 that was basically coming to give us the answer.
Definitely will, and someone who's really good at winning races on mile and a half is going to be your leader on this restart, Andrew Fayash III, Shane Terrian. To his outside, they are the segment winners, and everyone else behind them, they are hungry to win the final segment here as we are back to green flag racing.
Oh, look at that, right on top of each other, basically bump drafting into turn 1. All of the drivers, except for Fayash, have little and no room between them and the car behind them. Pretty wide there as we go to 3. Dyson's going to come to the bottom and get that big run, but it's Terry on the top. Who's going to make it? Dyson's almost going to get the run underneath of Fayash. Fayash got to block the battle on 2 or 3 different fronts.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of a lane choice here. Ryan's going to go to the outside, but looks like the inside line is working more effectively here, at least in the first couple of laps on this restart. Is contact made? They save it.
That right there, that was a close call. That was a nail-biting moment for all those drivers. Terry and now on the bottom. He's got Martin Wells right up on his high side. Dyson's now gotten back to the bottom. All of them still right on top of him.
Yeah, everyone else pretty much running with each other, single file, back in the pack. More battles up front here as Shane Terrian and Austin Hartenfels battle for second, and they're both reeling in Andrew Fayash III. Somehow as Andrew, who struggles a little bit there, he moves up to the outside as here comes Shane Terrian to the inside for the lead.
A little bit of a blink there. That could cause catastrophic failure up the front. Now we're side by side here. This is the kind of racing we've not gotten to see on iRacing probably in 3 or 4 years. As far as I can tell, Shane, these guys are bad.
This is definitely a big step in the right direction, both by iRacing and the CMC Sportsman Series tonight with the All-Star event. They placed it specifically here tonight after the build to experiment with some things and kind of try some things out. And well, look at this product they're producing. It's absolutely amazing. Can't wait for the second half of this season, and we get to bring all this to the regular season.
Yeah, we'll just have to see how exciting the regular season race is. If it's anything similar to this, that'll be
But nonetheless, Shane Terrian and Austin Hartenfels, well, they're side by side. They've been since the restart, and they're battling closely there for second. And Andrew's trying to get away, Andrew Fayash III, but so far they're pretty much all under blanket.
all under that blanket contact. Hartenfels all the way up and somehow, some way saves it.
Saves it, but he's going to get all the way to the back of the field. That's unfortunate for him. He's going to lose a lot of time and pretty much close racing there. The only thing to blame there, you can't really place blame on anyone else. It's racing at the end of a big-time race, and these guys doing the best they can, and stuff like that happens. Mistake green, and now J.D. Laird gets in Ryan Dyson.
Yep, that's going to put Dyson out of the action there. He's falling now out of contention. These drivers are dropping like 4 lives. believe 8 laps left in the segment. Noah says 9, but we did start with 16 laps. They were 16 out, 7 seconds back. So Shane, these drivers have to step it up if they want to win.
Yeah, Austin Hartenfels, we've seen his struggles, we've seen Ryan Dyson's struggles. Those guys probably going to need caution here. They're going to want to get back in it, but Andrew Fast, the third, Shane Terrian, they're in striking distance. They are the first 2 cars. Then you go back to Chris Wright, JD Laird, they're about a second back or so. As there was another car in the wall there. It looks like Michael Laria caught the outside wall there down the back straight.
And then here comes JD Laird trying to get around Chris Wright. I think he'll be able to do it though. Shane is pretty competitive, but just as I say that, 23 gets a big time run.
Yeah, the inside continues to show strength, but we've seen some moments of glory for the outside lane, so that's promising. But so far, so much for the inside lane as JD Laird is using that to try and get around Chris Wright, but Chris uses the momentum off the corner there, and he's going to rocket by JD and quickly ends that battle.
Trap braking shenanigans have already started, and you got to do everything in your power to keep that driver behind you, to keep him behind you. Trap braking. I mean, that's one way to do it.
Yeah, Bash using all the moves he's got to his advantage, and he's trying to pull away a little bit. Shane's staying within his draft, as you said, Steve, so he's doing everything he can to break that and try and just give as much space as he can, just in case he does make a mistake. It's bound to happen here, especially when you're driving hard toward the end of the race, but so far, clean sailing for Andrew and only a couple more laps.
JD Laird catches the outside.
Looks like Doy Woods will get underneath him and complete the pass for 4th. So as the laps wind down here, Doy Woods moving forward.
Hartenfels does, and Shane Terrian into the outside wall. Our second place contender gets some significant damage now. Chris Wright is a second behind his driver inside that top 5 that has no hit.
He really went for it there to Shane, and unfortunately into the wall. Not really going to lose much. He went for the lead and unfortunately did not have the car to get there, so he'll fall back, but definitely not bad if you go down trying. So these guys doing a nice job learning their limits tonight, and maybe if we come back here and later in the season or some other season, they'll be able to take those knowledge that they used and use it later on. But as we wind down here, I believe this is the white flag for Andrew Fayas III.
This driver that so far throughout the entire night he's come down and stayed out of trouble, and it looks like here on this final lap there's a considerable between him and coming up off turn 4, Shane, here comes Andrew Fayas coming across the stripe,
victorious and not even running anymore in the regular season is Andrew Fayas III. He comes here for a spot start in the All-Star race, dominates, does what he needs to do, and he brings home the victory here tonight. It actually looks like they're going to run out this final lap. A little bit of confusion there, but still Andrew will make his way to turns 3 and 4, and this time by will, I guess, take a win.
Well, this time I guess he'll be the official winner here. Chris Wright, Doy Woods going to battle it for second. It's going to be Chris Wright by half. He knows Doy Woods going to cross sideways. What a finish. Shane with Andrew.
Here with the winner, Andrew Fayas III, and Andrew, after a long night there, you won the first segment, and now you win the final segment and win the All-Star race. Take us through your race.
That was a lot harder than I'm sure it looked at the end there. The first like 8 laps of that last run, I was mirror driving more than I do at Daytona out front, and I was trying to keep them side by side as long as I could for a second so that they'd wear the tires out. And it worked. Unfortunately, there was some net code that spread them out, and at that point, Shane had been running the bottom so long he had nothing left on his front tires to get any grip. So I don't know. I felt like I was playing chess at full speed there for a while.
Yeah, did a nice job bringing home the victory here tonight, but kind of talk about this new surface model, and we saw a lot of moments of glory on the outside lane, some side-by-side racing, even some passes. Saw a 3-wide pass by Corey Hoover that we hadn't seen before in a while. What are your overall thoughts on that, and did you learn anything tonight about it?
Well, I think it still needs a little work, but as far as a first release of dynamic tracks, this is like the coolest thing. I think where it needs work is that it seems like it has way too much grip on fresh tires. I mean, the first handful of laps, you could flat out run this place for 8 laps if you really wanted to, if you had the whole track to work with. And I mean, it's just a bit beyond reality at that point. But once we got rubbered up and once we got the tires worn in and got some longer runs going, it really played a big factor as far as tire management and knowing what lines to run and stuff. It was fun.
Definitely. And before we let you go, any sponsors you want to thank? Any shout-outs here for tonight's victory?
I just want to thank all my guys over at BBH Motorsports for their work in NPAS and then the Pro Series coming up, because they always work hard on setups and stuff for me. And I actually with this new build with the dynamic track, I'm actually excited, I guess, to be racing as much as I am. And real racing season's over for me now, so it's time to focus back on iRacing for a while, and I'm really looking forward to it, and I appreciate all the help that my teammates give me, whether I have time or not. Can't thank them enough.
What a better way to start it off here tonight but winning the CMC Sportsman Series All-Star events. Great job, Andrew, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you.
I've caught up with our second place finisher, Chris Wright. Chris, how you doing?
Pretty good. Happy to be talking to you guys again.
Well, I tell you what, I hate to say it like this, but if there was a dark horse going into this, I think you would have definitely been on the dark horse list. What is it about you and Charlotte that clicks so well?
Well, the new build kind of took everybody by surprise, and you can run with a lot of throttle time, and it's just a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun at this place and all the mile and a halves, and I felt like I had a really good car tonight. Maybe could have ran with the 77, just had to check up one too many times there towards the end.
Yeah, it looked like it was really grippy for the first 5 to 10 laps, but after that, then things just got really, really loose out there if you overdrove it. How do you feel about the new build?
There's a lot of grip, like you said, for the first few laps, but once the grip goes away and you can move around, it's a lot of fun, a lot more fun than what it's been in the past to be able to kind of run anywhere. There at the end, I was able to hold off the guy behind me, running way up high, so it's a lot of fun. I think they did a great job with the build.
Now, my next question takes us back to how the Sportsman Series is looking. You came into the Sportsman Series pretty much, from our knowledge, pretty new to the whole UpperEdge Racing League, and you're currently sitting 6th in points after Martinsville, which was a pretty considerably tough race for a lot of drivers. And you're looking to go into the next race. It's going to be here at Charlotte. You're sitting 6th in points, and there's a big shift in the drivers that have come and gone this season. How do you feel about that? Getting that first win here. You've had 2 top 5s, 3 top 10s, but you haven't quite been able to get that win.
No, not yet, but we've been consistent. I'm earning these guys' respect, I feel like, a week at a time, racing with them. Being new, they don't, you don't know how anybody's going to act or drive, so I'm just trying to earn their respect, and I feel like if I can do that, earn their respect, get to racing with them every week, then go for wins, it's a process.
Yeah, that is for sure. Nonetheless, congrats on getting that second place here tonight, if anything, it gives you some momentum going into next week's race here, which, of course, is for points.
Yep, I'd like to thank all the guys on the team. I'm driving for Sky Motorsports and Evo Controllers for coming aboard, and Coca-Cola and all the other ones. Great ride so far.
Alright, Shane, we'll back up here in the booth. That was a quick run for me. We are all set and ready here from Charlotte Motor Speedway, and then we'll be back here next week at Charlotte. And I'm excited to see how things are going to look here. Drivers are going to get more acquainted with this new build as the week goes on, probably. I know I haven't gotten the drive. I haven't actually gotten the drive on iRacing in quite some time here. So hopefully I can dive into that a little bit this week. But, Shane, I think we're all wrapped up here for the night.
Yeah, definitely, and learned a lot tonight that we hadn't learned about the new surface model, and also about the different things that iRacing brought in this previous build, and awesome to see some racing that we haven't seen before, and going to be very interesting to watch that throughout the year, and everything else on iRacing here in the coming weeks.